Hello, welcome to the maiden edition of Business Trends on NTA Abuja Channel 5, the Unity station. This is the program that keeps you abreast of major business developments in the country and, of course, gives you insight into doing business in Nigeria. As we all know, one of the cardinal ideologies of the current administration is to develop small and medium businesses in the country with a view to promoting self-reliance and a private sector-driven economy. It is in this view that we seek to enlighten people on successful tips on doing business in Nigeria, and especially in the nation's capital city, which has hitherto been rated as the most difficult city to do business in Nigeria. And on the discuss segment, we'll get to let you know some tips on starting up your business. And from the boardroom, we have an amazing entrepreneur who shares her thoughts on doing business and making a success of it. I'm sure you'll be itching to meet her. But before then, we'll quickly check on trending issues in the business world. And not to forget, this program is brought to you courtesy of the Small and Medium Enterprises Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, the agency charged with the responsibility of ensuring the growth of small and medium businesses in the country.
Brother, what's happening? You're not looking so good.
Life after school has been very difficult. Honestly, see, I can't even take care of myself. Look, I can't even shave. I'm so confused right now. I set up a furniture business and it collapsed. I'm beginning to think someone is after me. It could be from the village.
I don't think anybody's after you. You see, business sometimes just need guidance and mentoring. See, have you heard of this agency called SMEDAN?
No, not at all.
See, SMEDAN is a government agency that specializes in giving business training to micro, small, medium level business owners.
Wow, John, hold on.
SMEDAN trains you, create market for you, to link you with suppliers of raw materials to manufacturers and producers to consumers. SMEDAN facilitates agricultural commodity exchange and even promote Nigerian-made goods abroad and here in Nigeria. SMEDAN connects young entrepreneurs like you to financial sources so they can have access to loan.
John, I want to be like you. Take me to SMEDAN right now. Let's go. Wait, where's the way?
Is this way?
Let's go.
SMEDAN is located at number 35, Port Harcourt Crescent off Gimbia Street, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. It also has offices in each capital of the 36 states of the Federation, or visit www.smedan.gov.ng. This message is brought to you by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN.
Welcome to the discussion segment. I told you earlier that we'll be dwelling on all you need to know about starting up a business. And we have in the house Mr. Obinnaya Uruakpa, who I believe will do justice to that. Mr. Uruakpa is a trainer, an entrepreneur, and a public speaker. So you're welcome to the program.
My pleasure, Sikeola.
Of course, you are an in-house person as far as NTA is concerned, and it's a pleasure to have you on the program.
My privilege.
And now we're talking about doing business and starting up business. Of course, in a city like Abuja, you are an entrepreneur yourself.
Yeah.
We just want you to give us the fundamentals that you need to follow in starting up a business.
It's very simple. Like everything in life, someone said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will lead you there. So you need to first of all have a vision. What is it you're actually trying to achieve? Where are you going? Who would buy what you're producing or the service you're rendering? Once you're able to put pen on paper to articulate exactly what you want to achieve, then you also need to validate the idea that you have. One of my mentors, Sam Ademi, will tell you that ideas rule the world. And then, of course, one of my other mentors, Sarah Omaku, will tell you, think big, start small. The big is in the small. What that tells you is that do not use your two legs to test the depth of the water. You have to first of all validate your idea. Sometimes you have a great idea and you think it's the best idea in the world until you share it with 2 or 3 other persons. Every personal development expert will tell you that you should have as many eyeballs as possible look at what it is that you've written, you'll be amazed that a full page that you've written would still have mistakes on it. Same way in business, never you think that you know it all. But the very first step from where to start off from is to put your ideas on paper. Next one is that you need to research your market. What market are you going into? Not every market is for everybody. You have niches for different types of goods and services, and there are different classes of customers. You have those who are small scale, those who are medium, and those who are in the upper end, whom you call the high net worth individuals. You may not be able to take Gary Granite sugar packaged in a cellophane bag to go sell to some people in the high net worth individuals network. You must sell that at the bottom of the pyramid where a few people may afford it, and then affordability is also key, issue of pricing. And it's also important for you to create something you can sell. Someone said, a philosopher said that the best person to do your own thing is yourself. So the best marketer, the best salesperson is yourself. If you cannot sell what you have created, how do you expect a hired marketer to do that for you? Having done your feasibility, having done your business plan, your cash flow analysis, that there are three things that will determine who you become or how far you go in business. The people you associate with, the environment you operate in, the books you read. Meaning that you need to go deeper and read up on that area of business you've chosen to go into. Now, the other thing that is beginning to make sense in this age, no longer the age of our fathers, is that you need to get a website. And it's gradually becoming affordable. There are very affordable websites out there. That's if you are not able to create one for yourself.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
do you create the website?
Yeah, you can. There are softwares for almost everything. Google tells you everything these days. You can step by step create a website for yourself using WordPress and a few other platforms. But I do not think that we need to declare a state of emergency in that regard.
Okay, you said something about the first thing, as in you put your ideas on paper. What if you have all the ideas and you don't have the capital? Of course, you said something about, talking to people. Is talking to people enough to raise the capital that you need to start up a business?
It depends on what you're telling them. Yeah, ideas, one of my mentors will tell you that ideas rule the world. I always try to de-emphasize the issue of raw cash. Once you can get a good idea and you can have a few people, usually what we advise young people to do is to start with friends and family. Okay. Start, first of all, your own savings. If you've not been able to save 300 naira, which is 30% of 1,000, you've not been able to save 30,000 naira, what gives you the boldness to go asking somebody for 1 million? And then if you're going to borrow 1 million, the person will first of all ask you, how much of your own money is in this business?
Okay, now, you spoke about talking to people, getting, one or two people.
Reference.
Start from your friends, with your friends and family. Okay, so that takes us to the place of partnership in doing business.
Okay. Partnership, I will always advise, check out whoever you are partnering. There must be chemistry between you and whoever you're partnering.
Okay. And
sometimes it's also advisable that if you have worked together with a few people over time, you should have known the character of the people you're dealing with. And then it's always also good to get legal advice. There must be someone within your ecosystem, your friends league, that can give you legal advice. Get a value. What is this business worth? And then let's put a value to that idea and put a value to the money the person is bringing. By the time you value the idea, you'll be able to say, okay, this business is worth 1 million naira, and we'll divide it into per share, 1 naira per share. And you're able to say, okay, if you're bringing in 500,000, that means you're buying about 50% of this business. And the idea now represents the remaining value. And it can always be understood. And once it's agreed upon, put it on paper and sign an agreement, not just an MOU. Not a memorandum of understanding. Sign an agreement. And if it's possible, notarize it with a notary public and let it be documented as a legal document, because anything can happen tomorrow. There could be death, there could be quarrel, there could be misunderstanding. There must be rooms for you to seek redress so that you don't get into unnecessary friction, which a court of law will manage all of the issues when it comes to separation and so on. In the case of separation, what asset goes to who and all of that. Get all of that sorted before you go into a proper partnership. We have seen all manners of things happen.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the program and for sharing your thoughts with us. I really wish we could go on and on this. We've been speaking with Mr. Obinnaya Uruakpa. He is the CEO and team lead of Grand Renaissance Limited. It's a youth development agency here in Abuja. Thank you very much for being on the program.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we're moving on now, and let's get to see what is trending in the business world. Don't go away. Here are trending issues in the business world. Nigeria's external reserves increased by $1.24 billion in 1 month and $16.63 billion over 12 months to $47.49 billion in April 2018. Reports indicate that the rapid accumulation of $16.63 billion over 12 months was due to 2 successful Eurobond issues, the recovery in oil export revenues, and more recently, the steady bid by the CBN at the investors and exporters forex window. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in its last intervention injected a total sum of $349 million in retail secondary market intervention sales segment of the forex market. Figures obtained from the CBN indicate that the interventions were meant to meet obligations in the agriculture, airlines, petroleum products, and raw materials and machinery sectors. Nigeria has signed a currency swap agreement with China. The transaction, valued at $2.4 billion, was signed by the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and his counterpart at the People's Bank of China, Zhejiang, on behalf of their respective countries. The initiative tends to boost trade ties between the two countries and solve liquidity problems of Nigeria and China manufacturers. The 3-year agreement is renewable. And the total credit from banks to the economy recorded a decline of 135.8 billion naira from 15.74 trillion naira at the end of the 4th quarter of last year to 15.6 trillion naira in the 1st quarter of 2018. This is contained in the banking sector report released by the National Bureau of Statistics. The report also shows that the banking sector recorded transactions worth 32.48 trillion naira in the 1st quarter of 2018 as data on electronic payment channels. This week, West Texas International WTI crude rose above $70 a barrel for the first time since 2014, while the Brent crude futures rose to $75.59 a barrel. And as part of its efforts to develop Nigeria's industrial and manufacturing sectors, the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, is partnering relevant stakeholders to actualize the revival of industrial development centers across the country. To this end, a workshop was organized by the agency in Abuja to outline business case for the study of the 23 industrial development centers in Nigeria that are not fully functional. Director General SMEDAN, Diko Umaru Rada, says the idea was geared towards funding, reviving and converting the industrial development centers to clusters for industrial development with a view to further promote small, medium and large-scale businesses in the country.
What we are expecting after the outline business case, and then there will be a final business case that will be presented to us, all the stakeholders, and after that, then we see how we can fund it, either through the same African Development Bank or any other development partners across the world and the federal government of Nigeria.
African Development Bank decided to take up this project because it aligns with the bank's industrialization policy. And we believe that if this country has to develop industrially, we have to start from the roots. We have to start from the SMEs level.
Those are trending issues in the business arena at this time. And if you're just joining us, the program is Business Trends, and it's time to go to the boardroom. Don't go away.
Brother, what's happening? You're not looking so good.
Life after school has been very difficult. Honestly, see, I can't even take care of myself. Look, I can't even shave. I'm so confused right now. I set up a furniture business and it collapsed. I'm beginning to think someone is after me. It could be from the village.
I don't think anybody's after you. You see, business sometimes just need guidance and mentoring. See, have you heard of this agency called SMEDAN?
No, not at all.
See, SMEDAN is a government agency that specializes in giving business training to micro, small, medium level business owners.
Wow, John, hold on.
Smedan trains you, create market for you, to link you with suppliers of raw materials to manufacturers and producers to consumers. Smedan facilitates agricultural commodity exchange and even promote Nigerian-made goods abroad and here in Nigeria. Smedan connects young entrepreneurs like you to financial sources so they can have access to loan.
John, I want to be like you. Take me to Smedan right now. Let's go. Where's the way? Is this way? Let's go.
Smedan is located at number 35 Port Harcourt Crescent off Gimbia Street, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. It also has offices in each capital of the 36 states of the Federation. Or visit www.smedan.gov.ng. This message is brought to you by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, Smedan.
She is an ace master compere and entrepreneur of global standard, a world-class brand in event management, hospitality, tourism, and entertainment industries. I bet she has all it takes to be an inspiration to would-be entrepreneurs. Business Trends crew came in contact with this radiant, elegant, and beautiful managing director of Doxa Digital Nigeria, a brand that has grown to become a one-stop shop for all event needs, ranging from indoor events to mega stadium-size events. Doxa provides technical services to events by way of professional sound reinforcement, professional lighting, mega screens, LCD projectors, computers, and many more for specific event needs. Doxa's business is to ensure total coordination of seminars, conventions, exhibitions, and all categories of events. Most importantly, the business venture has kept many energetic young Nigerians in gainful employment. Let's get to meet the brain behind this success. I would just want to share from your wealth of experience doing business in Abuja. We want to know how you started, what you went through, and how you've been able to attain the feat you have attained at the moment.
This year will be 17 years old in the entrepreneurial market space. Here in Abuja, we are homegrown, city-born, FCT Abuja brand, distinctively Nigerian, but most importantly, a global reference when it comes to enterprise in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We're also what is called a couple's business idea. My husband, who actually is my CEO, I being the MD of Doxa Digital. Doxa actually emerged out of a necessity that was derived from a very embarrassing moment when I was invited to host here in Abuja an event for the Royal Netherlands Embassy. I was opening up their office on Usuma. I had to arrange for equipment to do their song, their national anthem. And I went, hired equipment somewhere, and unfortunately, or do we say fortunately now, because of the advent of what followed, the microphone was dead. And it was so embarrassing. When I got home, my husband was like, "What happened?" And I said, I felt like the ground should open and I should just walk out of there. No, you know what? I was certain I didn't want to die. But I just felt like there should have been some underground to get out of the Royal Netherlands Usuma location to my house. And well, that was it. My husband just said, God help us, and when he does, I'm going to buy you equipment that will go with your voice. That investment from my husband is what gave birth to our entrepreneurial dream and the diversity of operations that we have found ourselves so privileged to have engaged from the capital city. We've continued to grow. We've come to the place where we've gotten past the 5-year deadline, when if a startup enterprise does not live past the 5th year, if you can grow past year 5, you will keep growing. So one thing I've learned is, you know who a big shot is? It's just a small shot who kept on firing. You keep firing, and one day you'll have the whole place on fire. And the beautiful thing about fire is this: when it's the right kind of fire, it gets everybody's attention. Everybody, you have helpers, everybody comes when there's a fire. And the best fires are alive. You keep them alive, you keep them going, and never let your fire go out. Never let your passion die.
The business has actually grown really tall, and it's a product of faith to pull through, even when challenges come, as you said. Can you share some of those challenges with us? Because some people believe you must have sailed through because there were no challenges, you just had it smooth off.
Oh, no. We've had perfect storms. And where it's just the testimony of having not just survived the storm, but become the owner of the storm. So great event managers will all know that storms must come. And that's why you and no other person was employed to take on that storm. We've learned to make sure things like the generating the power supply in and out is properly taken care of. Also learn to articulate agreements. Don't be sentimental in business. It's something I had to learn. People will trust you, you trust people. But people will exploit your trusting them, especially when it comes to money. The worst thing to do with an event is to package an event, deliver it to your client, and you didn't collect your money. It's then your client will suddenly remember that, the way the rice actually was presented. So it's one thing I've learned is you must be transactional, and you must be completely transactional when you're working with clients. Whatever their desperation may be, you're still there with a human face, but there needs to be an understanding, a contract, a term of reference that binds them to payment and also binds the event coordinator, the conference technical provider, to delivering the expectation. You must be clear about those expectations.
You know, you spoke about passion. There's so many people out there, they don't even know how to find their passion, yet they want to grow business.
I don't know that that is a fair statement, because I see a lot of youth running with passion, with their ideas, with their dreams. It's the discovery, really, is the courage to deliver what is in you, to step out and do it. It's the DNA of the Nigerian youth. Even old people are still running with ideas. You know, in Nigeria, it's something else. Nigerians are full of ideas. If you're a youth in this country right now, there are too many opportunities. Do you know youth corps right now have an opportunity when they've finished with their 1-year youth corps to take their youth corps certificate, put it down as their collateral for a business idea that the government will invest a certain level of millions in. All they need is drop your youth corps certificate. That's all. They didn't ask you for car, they didn't ask you for house. This is for women. My goodness, with the SDGs going on, women right now, we are swimming. In fact, right now what I'm trying to do is just collate all of the opportunities for women in business. There's too much out there. The UN is backing you up. Your government is backing you up. You've got all kinds of women initiatives happening, popping up everywhere. Any woman who is not doing business is a lazy woman.
Now, what's the place of education in entrepreneurship?
It's key to everything. And when I say education, I'm not talking about the fact that, oh, I went to primary school, I went to university, I went to University of Technology or something. No.